This is the plaintiff, Gary Condor. He says he bought a dinghy from the defendant, and the thing leaked. Had a hole in one of the pontoons, and the guy lied about the warranty he gave him. He has no choice but to drag the guy to court so the judge can sort this troubling dispute out. He's suing for $2,172.50, the amount he's now owed. This is the defendant, Jeff Buquo. He says the guy calls him 3 months after he had the boat, complaining about getting water in the hull. Then he says it was leaking air. He thinks the guy punctured the thing and is now trying to get him to pay for the damages. Come on, buddy, get real. He's accused of selling a leaky boat. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $108.63 for the cost of the repair work.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
The charge was $100. And you feel like, I don't care if it's $2, I'm so mad at you because I lost the use of my boat all summer over something that's under warranty, that how dare you charge me a penny? That's how you feel about it.
Retrospective, he said, I apologize for the trouble we went through the whole summer.
You'd have paid him $100 just for the apology.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff bought a dinghy from the defendant and it leaked like a mother. The defendant says the plaintiff complained 3 months later, so not his problem. It's the case of, you're a little dinghy.
That's one, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Gary Condor, you are suing Jeff Buquo. Can you pronounce it for me?
Buquo.
Buquo and Port Inflatables, a limited liability corporation. You're the owner, right?
Yes.
All right, for $2,172.50 that you say you want returned to you for a boat that you bought from him. You are counterclaiming against him $108.63 for a patch job, which is apparently the reason he wants to return the boat. What happened here?
No, the patch job is not why I wanted to return the boat. When I originally bought the boat, I bought it at a boat show on January 6th of '08. It was a used boat.
What kind of boat was this?
This is a little inflatable raft. It's like a
rigid hull inflatable? A rigid hull inflatable?
Rigid hull.
Okay, so it's like those pontoon type things?
Right. But
Okay,
the
do you have a
bottom
picture
part
of
is
it?
solid.
Anybody have a picture of it? May I see it? Yeah, the bottom is hence the term rigid hull, and then it's like inflatable pontoons, right?
Right. But there's two hulls to it. That's what the came.
Okay.
So then the first time I go to use the boat, I put the boat in the water, and it doesn't even go.
What does that mean?
It was like very slow. There's a little 15-horse outboard on it, and it wouldn't even go. It was very, very slow, and I couldn't understand why. First, I thought it was my engine. So I had the engine checked out and everything else, and they told me it was working perfectly. And after I took it out, there's a drain plug in the back, and I didn't realize there's 2 drain plugs. I didn't know there was a hull, a space between the 2 hulls. And when I took the drain plug out, literally 15 minutes it took for the water to drain out.
Okay.
So I called Port Inflatables
So then,
back.
as it turns out, that was just because you didn't know how to use your boat?
No, that was because there was a leak in the boat.
Because the water shouldn't be between the 2
No,
hulls?
there's no water supposed to be between the 2 hulls.
Okay.
So I called Port Inflatables back, and then he told me at one point that it's not under warranty. I said, it's right on the bill that this is under full warranty.
Can I see the paperwork you have for the purchase? Thank you. Remainder of warranty honored at Port Inflatables. Okay, so you tell him it's right on the paperwork, and he says?
Well, there was a little bit of a discussion, and finally he said, bring it in. I brought it in, and he said it was the rear plug, and I asked him how he checked this. And he tells me that he fills the boat up with water, and he could pump air in between the hulls, and where the bubbles come out, it would leak. So I said, okay. So he fixed it. And when I took it back, as soon as I took it back, it was outside, and I left the 2 plugs out, and I noticed when it was raining that water was coming out of where it shouldn't have been, between the 2 hulls. So I called him back and said, now it's sinking on land. So at that time, we went back, and he told me it would be several weeks to do it. He couldn't do it at that time. All right? So I was going to lose the boat basically for the whole summer. He said, use it for the summer, and I really didn't feel like putting my family or my kids in a boat that I knew was going to take on water, and use it for the rest of the summer. I was hoping to use it in September for a trip, but the second time it came back, the left pontoon was starting to leak, and I told him.
You say, and how did you know it was leaking?
It would just deflate. So after I took it back the next time, again, he told me it was several weeks, when I took it back in September.
Do you have any paperwork from the times that you took it back?
Yes, I do.
Okay. When you took it back the second time?
When I came back to pick it up, he told me that there's $110. Well, actually, no, he didn't even tell me the charge. There's a charge. He didn't give me a price. After I left that, And I did leave saying, I will just go speak to my lawyers on this. I tried the Better Business Bureau. And he does say, when he spoke to the Better Business Bureau, it'll take several weeks to fix this problem.
To fix, wait, show me what you say he says to the Better Business Bureau. Several more weeks? I thought the problem was solved, but you had to pay.
The problem has never been solved, never.
Okay, but wait, how did you went there to pick up the boat? Why, if the problem hadn't been solved?
Well, he said that problem was, I'm sorry, you're right. That problem, he said the problem was solved. I've never had the boat since the
And then he
bomb.
said, but you're going to have, but there's a charge.
But there's a charge.
And you didn't get as far as asking, what is the charge?
Right, I said that's
Because you were so mad?
Yes.
The charge was $100.
On a
You
boat
feel
that
like, I don't care if it's $2, I'm so mad at you because I lost the use of my boat all summer over something that's under warranty, that how dare you charge me a penny? That's how you feel about it.
In retrospect, if he said, I apologize for the trouble we went through the whole summer,
You'd have paid him the $100 just for the apology.
would have been done.
What's going on?
Everything at the beginning was true. In August, he brought the boat in for repair. We tested to see where it was leaking by putting water in the hull. Wherever water comes out, that's where it's going in.
How do you do that exactly? There's two holes?
Right.
Is that what we call it?
There's a
And then
V
you
on
put
the
water
bottom.
on the top one, or you put water in between, or?
In between. You put water in between there, okay,
Uh-huh.
you fill it up with water, then put the plug in. So now it's supposed to be a sealed compartment.
Right?
Wherever water comes out is where it was going in.
But is a boat like this flat?
Yes.
So how can the boat, what if there's a crack on the top? Then you would never know because it's not like this, and it's so you wouldn't, gravity would.
Undetectable from the top.
So you find a leak,
Right.
and then you fix that leak in the hull.
Yes.
Okay. Then you give it back to him.
Yes.
Then he says to you, water is coming in from the rain,
Yes.
which means there might be a crack on the top.
Right.
So now what do you do?
Now I say this is a more extensive repair, and it's going to take several weeks to repair this.
How many weeks?
The repair itself typically would take about 2 to 3 weeks, but it was the end of August, and I was leaving on vacation, so I couldn't start on it right away. And he needed his boat for his vacation, I guess, in September.
So you
according to
told him, take the boat back.
Best thing to do, take the boat back, use it for the rest of the season. You get water in it, empty it out. And it only happens when it rains, not while it's sitting in the water.
Okay.
And he says, okay, agrees to take it. So he goes and uses it for the rest of the season.
Okay.
And at the end of the season, he brings it back
At
as
the end of the
we
season would
agreed.
be when? September?
September 26th.
Okay.
He brought
And
it
then
back
when
in
he
for
comes back
repair.
September 26th, you're trying to figure out what the repair is for, what the top hull, what the crack is, and fix it.
Correct.
How long does it take you to fix that?
Typically a couple weeks.
And how long did it take you in this case?
Ordered was 9/26, and I called his wife on 11/11 to tell her that it was done.
Okay. Now, so why did it take so long? It was a couple months. I mean, I realize it's September.
Because at that point, there was no rush anymore.
Because
okay,
it's
he was done
September.
with it for the season.
Because that's accurate, right? Because it's September, it's no rush, because you guys don't live in Florida. Like
Let's,
I do. Okay.
let's take our time, do the job right.
Right.
I don't
Okay,
want
so
him to have any
then
more
now
problems.
it's November, and what is it that you were charging? You did the other work under warranty.
I did do it under warranty.
But then you found something, and did you not call him to say, hey, listen, there's a rip in the pump? What was it that you found that you're charging 100
When it came back in on September 26th, it wasn't holding air. So we repaired it, we found there was a puncture, and we put a patch on it.
Okay. And where was the puncture?
I have pictures.
Yeah. All right, so now, punctures are not part of the warranty,
No.
right? Do you have the written warranty?
I never received one. That was another problem.
Remainder of warranty honored, and then you don't know what the warranty is? Hand me the warranty, please. And this is remainder of warranty. What does that mean? Because you had a warranty with the company that sold it to you, with Careed?
The manufacturer's warranty is non-transferable.
Right.
Okay?
So what you did was you guaranteed it just to make the sale. You said, oh, you know what? I'll throw in the warranty.
Correct.
Yeah,
I
the
honored
rest of the
the
term.
warranty at my shop. Okay?
Right. So he doesn't actually have this warranty, but that's what you negotiated with him, that you would honor the rest of this warranty.
Right.
All right.
And-
From the date of purchase, the Hypalon neoprene fabric is warranted for a period of 5 years against flaws affecting the use of the boat, such as porosity, delamination, cracking, and aging under normal use. Stains are not covered, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Air holding seams are warranted, yada, yada, yada. Of course, what is not warranted is a puncture, because, you know, they're not going to pay for a puncture, so why would he pay for a puncture?
He was just so mad, he just yelled, cursing out of there, and I'm calling my lawyers. I had nothing to say at that point and let him curse and leave.
So, did this defendant have a right to fix the boat without calling the guy if that little part was not under warranty?
Yes, he never said anything about the warranty. So
He just said fix the boat.
Yeah, he didn't even say he had a warranty.
Fair point.
No, he scammed the guy. Like, he didn't even call him. It's not his right.
There was a hole in the boat, dude.
Yeah, but it was. He said it was under warranty, but that part.
All the guy said was fix the boat. There's a hole in the boat.
I don't know. It's a question.
Huh?
He needs to fix it.
He did fix it. Okay, we're going inside the courtroom.
You were insulted because you felt like you'd been through so much. Why couldn't he, why would he do this? According to him, he didn't even get to hear how much it was because he was so mad that it was anything.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Pretty accurate, yes.
Okay.
He was just so mad, he just yelled, cursing out of there, and I'm calling my lawyers.
Okay.
I had nothing to say at that point and let him curse and leave.
And where's his boat?
Still at my shop.
In storage?
Yes.
Well, you got free storage out of it all this time. That's something, right?
The other thing
Listen,
was...
Mr. Condor, here's the problem.
Okay.
The problem is, if you tell him, listen, repair this thing, and most of it is covered, and then one little part is not, the patch, which is not covered, it's never covered. You know that. I mean, you have to know that. I'm going to get a copy of this warranty for him, make sure he leaves with a copy of that. But you have to know that punctures aren't ever covered by any manufacturer. Then he has a right to charge for that part. And instead of walking off in frustration and saying, you now have my $2,000-something boat, what should have happened is that reasonable minds should have prevailed, should have paid him the $100 and never done business with this guy again. But, the warranty means if you buy a car and there's a problem, you don't get to tell, the dealership that you bought the car from, I want all my money back because there's problems. Warranty means I guarantee that if there's a problem, I'll fix it. That's what all warranty means. And that's what he did. The only thing he wouldn't fix was what was under warranty. And what he charged was $100. It wasn't a reasonable charge. You're going to need to pay the man the $108.63 and get your boat off of his premises. How long do you need to get the boat off of the premises?
I can have it off by the end of the week.
Okay, I'll give you 2 weeks.
Okay.
Just to give you a little something there. And you got free storage. That's not too bad. All right? So $108.63 verdict for the defendant. Pick up the boat within the next 2 weeks. We'll make arrangements to Officer McIntosh. Good luck to everybody. Okay? And make sure he has a copy of the warranty. Thank you.
I hate to say it, but the air has completely gone out of your case, and you come out here on the losing end. So stand right next to him, and your reaction to this, how it comes out finally.
May the buyer beware. The boat is still never fixed. I have...
Still never fixed, right? I know.
There's an argument every time I went.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was your point here? Were you trying to get money? Were you trying to show him up for being a bad businessman, or what?
Obviously a very bad businessman. I mean, I bought a boat and I had to bring it. I never got to use it the entire year. Water could still come. I don't know if it's fixed or not.
A man with a hole in his dinghy. What is sadder than that?
Pretty sad.
All right down that way. All right, come on in here, sir. You win your case, but you lost a customer.
I really don't need customers like that to begin with. And another thing, the fiberglass is not covered under warranty, and I fixed it twice. I did the right thing.
So you stood up for your reputation here and you protected it. That's what you were here for.
Yes.
Okay, Harvey.
So if the plaintiff would have said, look, if it's not under warranty, call me first, then the defendant would have had a duty to call before he fixed anything, and if he fixed it, he couldn't get paid. In this case, that ain't what the plaintiff said, and the defendant had a right to fix it. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.